So, hello everyone. I'm Dr. Rupa Shah. I am an allopathic doctor. I practice in Khar, Mumbai, and I'm a medical doctor, an MBBS doctor for about 35 years. And 35 years ago, I started also looking at various alternative and natural therapies, and I started practicing what is called as flower remedies. And me and my husband, Dr. Atul Shah, who is also a MD radiologist, together we are now practicing and making remedies from Indian flowers, and we treat all our patients with Indian flowers. So today it is the last time what I did last Saturday was a basic introduction, and after that I talked a little bit about anxiety, fears, and phobias, and our flower remedies can be used for that. And today, of course, we are having a new topic. Now, this is just a very short 1 hour session, so I cannot really do much in detail. Let me see if everybody is muted or not. If not, I'll have to, because it should not disturb everyone. I request everyone, those who are joining, kindly mute yourself so that, in the background, we can't hear all this noise. And we can do the whole session very smoothly. So today is the new topic that I'm going to talk. It's about depression. I can't talk in detail in this just a short 1 hour session, because they are just only a first introduction to many of you who do not know at all anything about this subject. And if any of you are doctors, then kindly bear with me, because this is really not a detailed session and I may not be able to tell you in detail, and all those questions cannot be answered. I may answer later, because if they are too technical. All right, let me see the chats. Yes, the previous recordings are available. You will be able to see it later. And so now I'm just going to get my screen ready for the today's PowerPoint presentation. Just give me a minute. Yes, here it is ready. And let me share my screen with everyone. All right, here it is, my screen. Is it clear? Everybody can see it. Again, then I'll start now. So before I start the session, I like to make this disclaimer that we don't make any claims to cure or treat any diseases. It just does not replace the proper medical care, and kindly don't stop your existing medications without asking a medical doctor. So let me start the topic today. Before I go to the exact main topic, I wanted to tell a few more of the fundamentals. So one of the most basic understanding is this, that our body is made up of 5 elements, and the entire creation is also made up of 5 elements. So if there's something missing in our system, we can always look into the macrocosm, because our body is microcosm, and this entire healing process is nothing but balancing these 5 elements within our body and balancing it outside the way the 5 elements are. For example, in summer, it is the more fire element outside. So people who have more fire element within their own body will feel lot of discomfort, and we need to look for something that can reduce the fire, and one can, achieve harmony in the season. Again, if there is winter, and in winter time the weather is cold and it is the predominance of air element, at that time anyone whose constitution also has more air element imbalanced, then we can again need to use some remedy to balance this air element within the system, so that now you can put up with the season. So people who get arthritis, they have, we call it as vata, and so air element is disturbed, and now they can take certain remedies that can balance. Now, another very important concept, that our remedies are always available in our surrounding in the season that we need the most. The same rule goes for food and also for our remedies. So, for example, in the heat of the summer, you will see the flowers that can put up with the heat of the summer. So, as the holy season comes and we play color holi, in earlier time, people used to play it with a particular flower called as flame of the forest. We also call it as parrot tree or kesuda in Gujarati. So the water was having these flowers in it, and people played holi with it, color holi with orange color, and it has the cooling effect on our body, so that now when you go into the summer, you have a better protection. So this is the way you understand about various elements, just 5 elements, how to balance it from within and without. And the answer lies in our surroundings. This is one. Second one, there are certain rules of nature that I would like to touch upon today, very briefly, not exactly in great detail, but whatever they are. One of the most important rule is that we are all connected. In the present epidemic, we are constantly, feeling separated from each other and separated also from nature. And we kind of forget that, we are very connected. We cannot be separated in essence. We might be physically separated, but yet it is not complete, because we all are on this earth sharing the planet with everyone. So we are connected with everything that's around us, and also to each other, also to nature. The air we breathe, we share, right? What you breathe out, somebody else is going to breathe in. What you breathe in was, somebody else who had, now taken out as expiration, So you share the same air also. So what was without becomes a part of you in no time. So we share air, we share earth with all the living beings on it. There's absolutely no way you can say that you're separate. Just a virus somewhere in some part of the world traveled across from one animal to the other animal to the human, and now in 210 countries. So we are just one earth, everything is shared together with all the beings. Then water on this earth is also completely shared, and we're connected with it, because almost 70% of our body is water, and also on earth 70% is water. Is exactly similar constitution. So this water also connects us, with everything that is there on this earth. Also the water on earth is connected with water in our body. Then the moon is affecting our moods. Moon also has effect on the menstrual cycle of a woman, the hormonal cycle. So even we are connected to moon. Sun is life giving to all. Obviously, there is absolutely no doubt that we are very dependent on sun, and without that we cannot live. And once again, I repeat, we are just not separate. We are all in it together. Although our eyes tell us that this is me, but that is not the end of our existence. Our physical body is only thing that we can perceive, but there is also energy field that interacts with the energy field all around us, with all the living and non-living, and therefore we are not separate. We are going to interact, and we are going to get affected by each other. And final message, that we are not the masters of the universe or masters of nature, not at all, under no circumstances. That's a major rule. We are only a part of it. Now, flowers are beautiful healers of nature. That's the therapy that I'm going to talk today. So how many ways we can use the flowers? One of the simplest way is when you see the flowers. In the urban situation, many of us don't get to see flowers. We can even see the picture of a flower. We can see it on our screen right now. In the background, there is lotus flower, which is one of my favorite flower. We can also hold the flowers. We can touch the flower. We can leave a few flowers near our bed near our pillow when we go to sleep. A lavender flower is a great example of this, and people use it to put it next to their bed, inhale a very nice fragrance from that flower, and it helps person to go to sleep. We can also smell the flowers. Although all the flowers do not have smell, but if they have beautiful smell, then we can smell it. Then we can offer flowers to God during festivals. Also we use flowers, and also during various ceremonies like wedding or even death ceremony, flowers are used. If someone is sick and in the hospital, if you are allowed, then you would like to take a bouquet of flower of someone's birthday, or if it's a rose day, if it's a Valentine day, we use flowers. We can also use them in floral tea. So some of the flowers are used like hibiscus or jasmine as floral tea. We also use essential oil, which is made from some of the flowers. The best example would be lavender oil, which is very routinely used. But there are also so many other essential oils which are actually made from flowers. And you need only a drop of that essential oil in a big carrier oil, which is like a neutral oil. You just put only a drop and that's enough. How concentrated the essential oil is. We also use flowers in homeopathic remedies. The example is arnica and calendula, and also in Ayurveda, certain flowers are actually used as medication. They are crushed, or the powder is taken, or they are dried and they are used. Also, the Parthiv Barot has raised hand. I will pay attention in a minute. Floral waters are also used in bath therapy. So you see a nice bath with lot of flower petals on the top of it, and someone is taking a bath, sitting in it for a few minutes or half an hour, and that also is very healing. And of course, finally, we use flowers as flower remedies. So can Nandita pay attention to Parth, because he's raised his finger, and then maybe he has an issue, we can help him out. The next is that I already mentioned, that someone just posted a very nice picture of moringa flowers. And even moringa flowers are used. We eat it, right? She has made some sabji out of it, and she has used this. Moringa is also called as drumstick. We call it as shing, saragwani shing, and that has beautiful white flowers, and they have used to eat this flower. Here is the picture of jasmine tea. The flowers are kept, and you can see that it's quite famous in China. And here is the picture of Gulkand. This is made from rose petals. If you have real roses, this is how you make, and they are very cooling in effect. So rose petals are used in Gulkand. Now, our connection with flowers. Just, I would like to ask this question, and maybe some of you want to put it in the chat, your answers. Many of us know flowers common names, but how many of us also know flowers in Sanskrit, their names? So maybe you want to write some of the names of the flowers that are your favorite, and you would like to mention what they are. I'll be reading the chat definitely. If you all put the names. This is our connection. Some of us have very favorite flowers. I think I like Rajnigandha because it smells so beautifully, and in the night time. Then there are people who like jasmine. There are rose flowers. Then in our garden we have Ratrani. So it is so beautiful that you just are taking your evening walk, and suddenly the fragrance starts coming in. And oh yeah, it's time for Ratrani. So you know how particular they are about the time, and it happens exactly on that particular time. Then the seasons, which flowers come in which season, and do you notice them? Like, do you know that this is now the month for Gulmohar, and you will see this beautiful red, deep red color flowers, covering the entire tree, but they are usually in on the side of the roads, and there's usually kept with Paletophorum, the yellow color flowers. So the yellow Paletophorum and the red Gulmohar, this is the season. And just last month it was neem flowers. It was white color, the bitter neem, and that had. So various seasons and our connection with the flowers. And the monsoon, it will be Kadam Fool. So these are like our connection with the flowers according to various seasons. The place where we live, do we kind of look up if the flowering starts and say, oh yeah, these are mango tree is now having flowering, and we'll see that maybe in 2 or 3 months we will get fruits. Then the common one that everyone knows is usually garden flowers like hibiscus and bougainvillea and office flowers and some of the canna flowers. These are all used for decoration. So I know people use this only very often, and this is their knowledge about flowers. If you go into the forest, then of course you can see a lot more varieties. I used to stay near Borivali National Park, and I was very fortunate that 40 years ago it wasn't so crowded. 45 years ago there was just a quiet little national park, and there was no entry fee. We just walked in anytime. It was like a second home. Just go. There was a beautiful river there and huge trees, and so many of those we used to know by name, and it was quite nice to go into the forest and learn about various flowers. Then of course the garden, the plants at home. Some of us have small plants at home, and then they flower, and then this is our connection with the flowers. Of course the trees and the big tall trees, and you see the flowers over there. There's a particular tree on Third Road where I live on Khar, and this is called as Nagalingam. It's called a Kailaspati, which has got a hood, and in the center part is like a Shivaling. So it's a very rare tree. It's wonderful to see the way flowers, are dropping on the floor, and you want to collect them. So these are the trees. Right now also I see Queen's flowers on one of the SV road. They are purple color flower, very, very nice. The tree is not very tall, but you can see them. And then finally, of course, fruits that we get, so many of them will have some flowers, like for example, pomegranate or guava or something. So this is how we, our connection with flowers, and somebody gives us a bouquet, or we go for a wedding or decoration, and then we see that these are the flowers. So this is our connection. Are there any, yeah, laburnum. That's right. It's correct. Laburnum and Nagalingam. That's right. Yes, yes, copepods. Correct. So this is our connection with flowers. Let's go on to the next one. There are beautiful flower valleys across India. And one of the famous one is of course in the Himalayas, that is also called as just Flower Valley, and it's a long walk to go and finally be there. And some of the flowers are also very, very powerful that you cannot even go next to that or smell because you may faint. They are so strong. The flower near Mahabaleshwar, people go, it's called the Kaspathir, and usually around the September month, just when the monsoon is less heavy, at that time, the mountains are full of flowers and there are various colors. And the Nilagiri mountains, they are called as Nilagiri because the entire mountain gets covered with this Nil, the blue color flowers. They are called as Karvi. And some of them just flower once in 12 years. That's how rare it is. And some flowers I know just once in a day, some flowers only in the night. There's a Brahma Kamal, and this is the entire thing about flower kingdom. You can go on and on and on. But it's so pleasing to the eyes just to take a walk and be there. This is how powerful you feel in the company of flowers. Now, what are the various lessons that we learn from nature? Very simple. They all live together. They don't live for profit. Very unlike human beings. There is no competition. They are happy together. They are in harmony with the whole universe, not just with each other, but also with all the 5 elements and all other beings. Each one is living a life of purpose, and each one is living life fullest. Each one grows, evolves, and new learning is passed on to the next generation. Each one becomes stronger in the process. This is the cycle of nature that gets completed. The fruit is available for us, fallen on the ground, and now we accept it, and the flower has completed the job. These are the lessons from nature, that they always live in harmony, they are not in competition, and they give space to everybody. Flowers are like souls of the plants. There are so many parts of a plant. Roots to seek earthy nutrition, stability, and survival. Trunk and branches to support and transport. Leaves for sunshine and air. And flowers where a new life takes birth. That is male and female flowers, and there's a fertilization. And then fruits finally come, and with the seeds hidden inside. And now the seeds have full information to take rebirth and what to become. So every flower is a soul blossoming in nature. So flowers are like souls of the plant. Now I would like to give a concept of physical aspect and subtle aspect. Matter versus subtle energy. When we take any part of the plant physically, then it is like you are taking something, say fruits, or and then it is going to help your physical body. And if you take an energetic counterpart, it's going to help our subtle bodies, our energetic counterpart. And we are both, we are energy plus matter. But when you eat a food, you also take matter and the energy. And if you understand, first day is spent in processing the physical nutrients, and next 2 days are spent in processing the subtle energy of it. When we just take the energy of a flower, we are taking directly just the energetic information. Now, always remember, energy comes first and then matter follows. This is the rule of nature. In energy field or the etheric field, there is a blueprint that actually directs the matter to what to become. For example, how just a little seed knows what a tall tree it has to become, or what kind of tree it has to become, because in that seed is the complete energetic information or the etheric blueprint to become exactly. And then that's what exactly happens. So this is the difference, physical aspect and subtle aspect, and we have to take both of it. But when we take flower remedies, we are only taking the energy counterpart of it. As I mentioned, that energy is higher than matter. When you take energy, it is going to rule the matter in our body. And accordingly, the physical body also will get benefited. Now, this is the little bit mention about epigenetics. Just because we have inherited a particular kind of genes doesn't mean that we are doomed to get a disease. The reason? Because there is a science called as epigenetics where your genes can be turned on or turned off, and your environment plays extremely important role in turning off some of the disease causing genes. And therefore a healthy lifestyle is extremely important, and natural remedies contribute towards the positive effect on your genes, and they turn off some of your disease causing genes. And details can be shared later in future classes whenever I have time, but this is not the platform to tell more about it. There is also something called as biomimicry. In biomimicry, you observe nature, you observe everything about it, and then learn some lesson from the nature and exactly produce something that you want to do it. For example, this is a lotus leaf, and observation is that the water droplets do not stick to the leaf. So this is a concept maybe for something that we want to do non-stick. And what is the cover on the lotus leaf that needs to be studied so that we can replicate. And then this is how we learn from nature, and this is called as biomimicry. Right now there are many researchers across the globe who are studying the ways of nature, because here is the knowledge that has survived, that has evolved, and that has remained very confirmed. So to learn from that would be like digging into wisdom of millions of years. Am I right? There is a very famous book written by Dr. Richard Gerber, who is a medical doctor in America. He wrote this book more than 30 years ago. It's called as Vibrational Medicine. This is one of the Bible for those who are practicing any kinds of energy healing. And here is the picture that I have taken from that book. It says that human being with the physical body, then there is etheric body, acupuncture, meridians are in the etheric body, there is astral body, there is lower mental, higher mental, causal, and finally the spirit body. And here they are showing the depth of actions of various systems. So homeopathic remedies reach up to etheric, sometimes a little bit in the mind and emotions. There are gem elixirs. Last time I did mention about how we make flower remedies. Same way one can make gem elixirs that goes up to mental body, but the flower essence or flowers remedies are going all the way to the soul of the person. We call it as this up to the spirit level. So these flower remedies are working from mind, emotions, body, and to your soul. So how powerful they are, and this is what I have experienced in last 35 years. Now, every flower has a message, a thought, an emotion which is very specific to that particular flower. So remember that every flower is having a particular thought. See, even if we do not know that this flower is good for what, when you take the flower remedy, in a few days, you will come out with the exact thought that that particular flower has. This is how transparent the system is. The flower remedies are also given with affirmations. That is the thought only, like a positive thought. Here I would like to give you example of chamomile flower, which is the affirmation for it is I am calm, because chamomile flower is for restlessness and irritability. So the message of chamomile flower would be of calmness, and the person who takes the flower remedy will feel in few days very calm. The flowers represent always both the positive and the negative aspects of emotions, and then it has the transforming capacity from negative to the positive. I'll give you an example of a flower. It is called as sensitive plant, or in Gujarati we call it as lajamni, or in Hindi lajwanti, or chuimui, or touch me not. So here this plant, moment you touch, yeah, I mean, just shrinks. So it's a very sensitive plant, and it has people who are also very shy, sensitive, vulnerable, and they need very strong strength to get going in life because they get affected very easily. So flowers can transform mind, emotions, and thereby also have influence on body, and it is this way installing the positive program into our system and helps our healing and evolution. Now today's topic is of depression. Everybody knows, I'm not going to mention too much in detail about it, just a bit of touch, and then we'll go on to the flowers that are used for it. Depression can be also of genetic origin, where if the mother was very depressed while she was pregnant, the baby carries those emotions with, and then later on life can be affected. Or if it's there in the family, you can get easily affected. There may be some chemistry imbalance in your brain. Your nutrition may not be very good. There may be some health condition, because of that you're feeling depressed. Like I usually see hypothyroidism patients also have depression. Then there are some drugs that also give side effect and they cause depression. And of course, one of our biggest one is stress. The stress gives us depression. That's kind of very well known. So if your depression lasts for more than 2 weeks, then we call it as a major depression attack. Then the next one, if in a 2 years time, if you have remained most of the days very depressed, then that is also a persistent depressive disorder. Then there are bipolars. That means one day you are very happy, the other day you are very depressed. Not exactly in that time frame, but on and off, you keep changing and you jump from one end to the other, and they are called as bipolar, and they are kind of very, very famous right now. Too many patients are getting diagnosed with bipolar. Then postpartum depression, when a mother delivers a baby and there is a suddenly depression that comes in, and it can go on for a few months, and it's kind of very hard for mother and baby as well, because baby doesn't get the nurturing from the mother the way baby would have liked. Then also premenstrual, very, very commonly known that 2 or 3 days before periods you are irritable, weepy, angry, you just shout at people, and now this is it, this is your time. Then seasonal affective disorders is when winter comes and you see sunshine only from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and you get very depressed because it's so dark all the time. So seasonal affective disorder. And then finally atypical depression, where you have a particular cause and somebody really irritates you and then you get angry. So these are the various kind of depressions. There is low self-esteem. So I can't do it, I'm not good, and nobody likes me, and these kind of stories. So I remember many years ago, there was a girl, she was about 16-year-old. She had too many pimples on her face, and she also had some boils all over her body. And she was quite intelligent girl, but she would wear very thick glasses, and she was looking like a very someone who wants to hide and don't want people to notice, kind of a very simple hairstyle and very simple clothing, and she was a little plump also. And then when I took the history taking of the patient is extremely important. We should take very good history. And I came to know that she was constantly getting compared with her sister, who was fair looking, good looking, younger, smarter, lovable. And this older sister always felt I was not good enough. She said nobody likes me and nobody loves me, and started crying. And then I understood the deep seated issue, low self-esteem, though very, very intelligent. Then the flower remedies of course were given, and her skin condition completely cleared up after that. So this is the magic, that you listen to the patient, not just the body, but also what's going on at the emotional and mental level. And then you select a remedy, not just for physical body, but also for the emotions. And when you help the person transform, develop the self-esteem through the natural remedies, the physical condition goes away. So this is how very simply these remedies help. They don't have any side effects, and they are very easy to take. I would like to tell you a story of two puppies. Two puppies were brought home. They were, of course, born at the same time from the same mother. And this experiment was done. One was constantly shouted at and not given much food, rejected, and bitten up also. And the other one was constantly loved and cuddled and given food, and always given lots of positive suggestions. And as they grew up, one became very angry and very destructive, and the other became very jovial. So here, what your environment gives you, you become. It feeds you. If parents keep telling their children that you are lazy, you are dumb, you are stupid, you are bad, you're good for nothing, then there's programs get installed into the child's mind and emotions, because their energy fields are very weak. They are still learning, they are still processing, and at that time when such negative emotions and programs get installed, they are the one who grow up and become like that. So be careful what comes out of your mouth, otherwise this is going to be a trouble. Now this many years ago we had gone to New York, and we were seeing a lot of patients over there and listening to them. And there was one girl who was very tall, and she came to our room with very dark color glasses, and she just sat, and she had hypothyroid, and she just told us her history. I am not good enough, and I'm not. And it just turned out that she always felt that she was looking very ugly all the time, not worth. And then later the history came out that her mother was a very famous model. Now this girl was about 20, mother must be around 40, and she was a very famous model, and she was like a very fast moving kind of a woman. And this girl felt very threatened by her looks, and she always kept thinking that she's looking so ugly, and she's not smart. And this is so interesting, because then the thyroid gland is the gland for communication. When you don't communicate, this is the gland that gets affected. And this is the girl we treated, and this is how the hypothyroid can be reversed, when you also listen to the mind and emotions of the person. Lack of confidence is also today's topic. Many people are very talented, but somehow they are not happy going in the public spaces and talking or expressing what they know. So lack of confidence is also very, very important issue. Particularly last time I mentioned about stammering. Stammering cases are really the one that need this remedy. Also during the examination, lack of confidence is a problem. Here I already mentioned some of these negative statements that we keep using, and that gets, remember, installed in every cell of your body. Remember, every cell listens, every cell records, every cell remembers, and therefore we need remedies that can heal every part of you. Negative thinking, of course, that's also part of this topic today. Negative thinking: no one likes you, you are an idiot, you are good for nothing, you're stupid, I'm not good, I don't know this, I don't want to do this, I'm always so horrible, I'm badly dressed, nobody likes me, I'm always a loser, I'm not successful. Oh my goodness, this is endless. This is negative thinking. Programs come from somewhere, and we start believing. And here, look, in the center of this poster, it's kind of written, born this way, poor fellow. The mother also, when she was pregnant, probably felt the same. So the baby takes on all these thoughts. Now I want you to spend only about 10 seconds looking at this beautiful flower. Even last time I showed, lotus flower is my favorite flower, the pink lotus. It is so beautiful. It's also fragrant. It is also a sun-loving flower, and it blooms always with the first ray of sunlight in the morning and then closes in the night. And there are 4 colors. Just have a look at this beautiful flower. Last time I did mention that I will give lotus flower remedy as a gift to the best question of the day. So the last time the best question was asked to me by Ruchi Batra. Ruchi Batra's question, I will come back towards the end of the talk. What was the question? But congratulations Ruchi Batra for the best question for the last time. And I offer the same to the participants today, that if you ask me the best question of the day, I will courier you the lotus flower remedy, which you can experience the healing power. So now I'd like to mention a few flowers. They are very good for depression and all the different conditions associated with it. Ashok flower. Ashok means without grief. I have put a picture of Ashok tree. This is the Ashoka tree called as Saraka indica. And here is the close-up of the Ashok flowers. Now, Ashoka means without grief. That's what it is. Ashok, Sanskrit name. It is really a remedy for women and old people, those who have gone through a lot of sadness in life and are very, suffering because of that. There is a trauma. Then we give this particular flower remedy, and it brings the joy back into the person. It is. I have written an article on internet. If you all want to tune in, it's called as "Weeping Woman, Weeping Womb." A woman's womb reflects all her emotions, and if woman doesn't weep, her womb will weep. That means I have seen several cases where there is excessive menstrual bleeding. Then if you give them the Ashoka flower, then the grief melts away, and also the physical condition improves. Ashoka wrist is also used a lot in Ayurveda, also as a woman's remedy. Next one is called as reddish flower. Reddish is upon, like this white reddish muli flowers, muli ka flowers. Maybe you have eaten muli, but the reddish, but you haven't seen the flowers. These are the beautiful flowers of reddish plant. Now it is very strengthening essence, because those who have gone through shock particularly, this is the flower that's going to give them comfort. The shock leaves a very huge gap into our energy field, and the sadness is very deep here. And this flower remedy brings in the peace and acceptance and helps the person to get very grounded. You see how the reddish is more energy in the ground. So flower remedy also helps person to get very grounded and stable. Mustard flower, yellow color flowers, mustard, rye, we call it as, right? So this yellow fields in Punjab, you have seen them, mustard, beautiful yellow color flowers. When the dark cloud of depression sets in, and you have no idea what it is, you feel very hopeless and nobody is there to help you out. You yourself are also not aware. You have a very vacant look in your eyes, very sad, pale eyes. And there's, there's nothing good happening in life. And, like a black cloud, on your head. This is the flower remedy that gradually dissolves this depression, and the person starts becoming very, very joyful. Next is sunflower remedy. So remember I mentioned about seasonal affective disorder, the depression. In winter time, when the sunlight is less, the people feel depressed. Here sunflower is storing that sun energy, and when we take this particular flower remedy, our mood gets lifted up, and it also builds up our ego, and it gives us the power and strength and takes away the depression. It's a very, very radiant essence for our soul. Cherry plum. This is the Bach flower remedy, cherry plum. I'll show you the close-up. Close-up is this beautiful white color flowers. And this is for fear of losing control. What happens? The person says that I think I'm going to lose my mental control. I'm going to go mad. These people, children who have chewing gum in their mouth and they're constantly, doing something with their mouth, or they put something in their mouth like a thumb, or as adults, they put some supari or pan masala and they want something in their mouth, something, because this is the cherry plum personality. The fear of, going mad, fear of losing control, and feeling always on the edge. Now, there are other suggestions that I'd like to quickly mention about depression. One of the most important one I always mention is about plant-based diet. Plant-based diet is so important because when you consume any food products that comes out of a dead animal, then the animal has gone through shock, depression, and high adrenaline and is very, very sad because he's dying. All this gets into the meat that you eat, and it's going to get into your system, and very likely that you will also feel the same emotions. So I have had over the years several patients who have completely come out of their depression when they add and go on 100% plant-based diet, which is also called as vegan diet. Whatever we see, hear, touch, read, eat, breathe, speak, and think, that's what we become. This is our food. Remember, it is very, very important that we become very aware about what are you seeing, what are you listening, are you watching horror movies, are you gossiping into something that's not useful. All this is going to become part of you, your mental and emotional food. So that is very important. Be very careful, be very aware. Walking on the grass barefoot will really, really help you. Hugging a tree, sitting under a tree is a great, great, great time. I have a wonderful tree in my clinic nearby. Just I have 4 different trees. There are 2 coconuts, 1 mango, and there's 1 peepal tree. I love this peepal tree. I call it as tree of wisdom. Some other time I'm going to tell more about this tree of wisdom. But I love looking at the tree and meditating under the tree, or you can also meditate on the flower, any fresh flower. Then whenever we get opportunity, we should be able to go into the forest, walking, bathing, and breathing. Breathing the air from forest is called the Shinrin Yoku in Japanese. Then morning sun, a few seconds of sun gazing can give us the direct pranic energy and help lift up our depression. Journal writing will help a lot. Remember, journal writing, I will do some of a special webinar just on journal writing at some point. Herbal tea of some of the positive energy flower remedies also will help you a lot. And there are also essential oils which are mood elevators that also can be used. One of them is peppermint oil, mint or peppermint oil. Quickly, I'll mention some of the formula that are available in omhimalaya.com. That's our website. If you don't want to know which flower individually, over the years, we have made various formulas, and these formulas are very often used all over the world, as we've been also exporting these remedies. This is a depression formula. Whether you know the cause or you don't know the cause, you can use this 4 drops 4 times a day, and it has the mixture of various flowers that can help you overcome depression. Negative thoughts, I have similar formula. It's called as formula number 6. You can order that as well if you want. You can just take one or you can take both. There are a lot of negative thoughts that keep going on and on in your mind, and you get very exhausted, and there's no conclusion, or there's nothing positive happening at that time. This will help you a lot. There's also a formula which has got various flowers for confidence. It helps. You don't have to take these remedies forever. Once you have become confident, you can stop the remedies. There is rejection remedy. There are people who have had heartbreaks and they feel very rejected, very lost, and they suddenly start concluding that world is not a good place to live in. That's the time this formula is very helpful. It is going to heal their wounds, heartbreaks. And formula number 40 is for grief, sadness. There is a genuine loss somewhere and you feel emptiness. You spend time with someone dear one for maybe 20 years, 30 years, and suddenly now they are gone and you have to now come to terms with it. This is the formula. And another one very interesting is inadequacy. As you know, you're capable, but you know, there's something that you know doesn't let you feel that way. And you constantly find your own faults only, and you know, you cut your own self and you only you know don't value your own self. There is a time you can take formula number 41. Each of these bottles usually lasts for about 21 days and you can purchase them from the website omhimalaya.com. Here is it's on the screen. You can see, you can also buy individual flowers if you like. And if you want to buy formulas, you can just buy, you don't need any doctor's consultation. You can do it on your own as well. I am also available for consultation. If you want to do a consultation with me, you can book it on my website. It's called as drrupashah.com. You can book a slot of 15 minutes or more. But if you have very serious illnesses and a very big file, then please don't do only 15 minutes. You really need more attention. Next session will be on types of addictions. Smoking, food, alcohol, pan masala, drug. I'll go over this entire thing in greater detail. But before that, before I close, I have a special guest today. Her name is Gitanjali. I'm going to unmute her and I want her to share her story. I'm going to answer your questions after Gitanjali finishes sharing her story. And I'm also going to then call some of you live if you want to ask directly with me. That also can be done. This session is recorded. It is live right now on Facebook, but I've also recorded and will be on YouTube channel as well. So Gitanjali, I'm going to look for you and I'll stop share this. Next sessions I already told you. Also, I have my social media presence. Healing Temple Mumbai is our page. YouTube channel is Healing Temple. There are lots of testimonials on Google Healing Temple location page. Also on our website. And if you need any information, I have this email here. It is info@drrupashah.com where you can send me an email and I'll answer you definitely. So let me now stop sharing it and take your questions. And first I want to look for Gitanjali. There is Gitanjali. Thank you very much for coming.
Hello, doctor.
So
Thank
wonderful.
you so much for having me.
Thank you, Gitanjali. I have known you only for a very short time, but you came to Dr. Atul Shah for treatment, my husband.
Yes.
Would you like to share how you found us out and what has been so far?
Definitely, doctor. Flower remedy has been life transforming for me, and I was suffering from a condition called fibromyalgia, in which one suffers acute muscular tiredness along with sleepiness and a lot of dizziness, and it was something which was paralyzing my life since a long time. I am professionally I am a writer director, and my work involves a lot of thinking and writing, and my condition was really debilitating, and it was stopping me from being the best version of myself. I tried a lot of other medicines, and I also suffer from migraines since last more than 20 years. And unfortunately, a lot of doctors had advised me to not move ahead in my profession, and they had asked me to step down because shooting in the sun and the various conditions which becomes catalyst in migraine, I have to be under that for my work. So I went to the best of doctors, and it was quite depressing because they said that no, it's better you stop and you don't move forward. and it was very disappointing, and I'm young and I had my entire career ahead of me. So that's when I heard about Dr. Shah and the flower therapy, and I visited him. I spent nearly an hour with him and telling him all the details, and I was in a totally disappointed state. And frankly speaking, I had just gone for a trial that maybe this works, because I had tried so many things, and
You get
but
very tired and hopeless because you tried so many things and you're not sure whether it
of
will.
course, yes, doctor. And because I had tried so many things, including acupuncture, acupressure, pranic healing, and allopathic medicines, everything I had tried. But to be very frank, the effect used to stay for a time and then fade out. So I was always subconsciously, I started believing that this is how I have to live the remaining of my life. So somewhere that thought had set in, and it was stopping me from becoming what I really want to become in my life. So that's when I started the flower therapy, and to my surprise, I think much better. I started feeling energetic. My sleepiness decreased massively. And more than that, what miraculously was I started getting glimpses of the vision of myself, which I used to see as a child, which I had completely forgotten. And when I was a teenager and I had the vision that I would be probably, winning an award or writing good films. So all that vision over the years had completely faded out because of the result of the condition I was suffering from. And somewhere I started believing, though not consciously but subconsciously, that maybe I will not be able to do this in life, at least in this lifetime. And consciously, of course, I always kept fighting, but because the inherent state of being had become such, I could not fight beyond the point. And therefore I felt that, okay, this is how I have to live my rest of my life. So after a couple of doses, I think 2 to 3 days later, suddenly those glimpses started coming back to me. And then I discussed it with Dr. Shah that, doctor, what is this happening? I mean, I am suddenly going back in time, and the glimpses of how I wanted to be in life is coming back to me. And now I want to become that. I want to do it. So that entire desire of living life, which had somewhere gone away because of the condition I was suffering, and fibromyalgia also includes depression. So it was a mix of depression, migraine, lack of motivation in life, even if wanting to do something, not being able to do it despite my entire fight. So all that suddenly started coming back, and the major thing that was lacking in life was the desire to get up and fight back. So that came back with the flower therapy, which gave me the boost and the push to get up myself. So if I was sleeping for, say, 10 to 12 hours, because the vision became so strong, I wanted to get up early. And I started getting up early. I started waking up at 5:30 in the morning. And till today, I am on flower therapy, and my entire routine is fixed. I follow that routine absolutely with utmost dedication, and it has been miraculous and completely transformed my life from being somewhere believing that my life is limited to a complete zone of limitlessness, I would say. So that is something that has been miraculous in my life.
Thank you very much for sharing this. It is going to be inspiring to so many more people.
My
Thank you very
pleasure,
much.
doctor. My pleasure. Completely my pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you. Most welcome for having me.
All right, friends. Are we going to now do some questions? I'll tell my friend Nandita to answer all the questions because that's how it is.
Yeah. So the first question was from Kiran KY, Kiran Ki.
Okay.
His or her question is, which tree is good to hug?
Oh, wonderful questions. There are trees that has a lot of thorns in it, and I'm sure if you try to hug such trees, you will be in trouble. But my favorite one is coconut tree because I love the way it is, and just hug it. And but any tree, why not? Why? There is no favorite. All trees have different healing qualities. Uh, just go ahead and find touch, be, sleep, whichever one you like.
All right. Should I proceed to the next one?
Yeah.
The next question is from Sinthuja Shankar. Is flower remedy the same as Bach remedy?
The Bach flower are the English flowers, and Dr. Edward Bach in England, he discovered 38 different flower remedies. But now there are 2,000 flower remedies from all over the world are also used, and they are now regional. So mine are some of the flower remedies today I showed you are Indian flower remedies. There was some Bach flower remedies. So now the whole thing has expanded to 2,000 different flower remedies. Bach flowers are still in use. There are 38 different flowers. I also like them and also find a lot of healing potential of the flowers growing in our own country.
All right. The next question is from Dr. Parul Parikh. What do you give in bipolar disease? How do you deal with those cases of bipolar?
So first, when a patient comes, a bipolar patient, I want to straight away give them my depression formula just to start with and wait for a month and see if there is any result or not. If the result is there, then I say that this is a very simple case, it's going to get over. But if the patient has no improvement, then I want to go deeper into the history of the patient and then help. So just to start with, history taking is extremely important. If a patient has such history where there was abuse, childhood abuse, or one of the parent was very dominating, or the child was over pampered or neglected, all this is to be taken into consideration, and then the bipolar can be treated. But just the first line, just to start with, I would like to put depression remedy.
Awesome. The next question is again from Sinthuja Shankar. Does your treatment include other lifestyle changes like diet, exercise, and allopathy as well?
So 35 years ago, when I started with flower remedies, I was only doing flower remedies, and the patients just came. So that time I was not mentioning anything about diet and lifestyle. And even till today, I have two different kinds of patients that who come. There are patients who come directly for diet and lifestyle changes. There are patients who come only for flower remedy consultation, and they don't, they're not interested in any other thing. So, and then there are patients who are interested in both. So I just take them as they come. Not necessarily every one of them get diet and lifestyle modification, but in my history taking, if I find something seriously wrong with the lifestyle, with the flower remedies, I want to prepare the person towards changing the lifestyle. I would like to suggest, if someone is eating too much of cheese and is getting pimples, then I will recommend to stop eating cheese, because you eat and wrong food, your body is going to try and throw that toxins out. So it depends from case to case.
Because I remember you mentioning in many of your talks that many diseases are a result of the lifestyle. So
Lifestyle extremely important, because every disease has a story. Every disease is going to be having a cause. There is nothing happens in our body just like that. There is always a reason. We have to find out the cause of the illness is very important to then go and move towards the treatment part of it. Treatment includes removing the cause or helping the cause as the first step. If you don't help the cause, what's the point of the treatment?
noted.
Right?
Okay, the next question is from Dr. P. Anshuman Abhishek. How to prepare essential oils if we don't have distillation apparatus?
How to prepare
Essential oils.
essential oil? We don't make essential oils ourselves. I do not know the exact process. These are flower remedies, and no flowers are cut in the process of making. We only take the etheric energy of the flower in water without cutting any flower. So your question is pertaining to aromatherapy essential oils. Now, we don't make essential oils. We don't. We use them, of course, sometime in our practice in helping our patients. I will not be able to answer about process of making an essential oil. You will have to ask someone expert.
Okay, the next question is from Shilpa. It's said that cellular memory lasts for a very, very long time. So flower remedies effect, is it permanent? And thank you very much for an enriching session.
The healing with the flower remedy is more or less permanent, because it's really like installing a program into your system. When you install a program in your computer says the program is already there. Do you want to now? So we cannot install it more. So it's like you have a glass and you put water in it, and then the glass is full. When the glass is full, you cannot pour any more water because it's full. Same way, when we install a program, say for example, someone who is very fearful, now you give the remedies that can remove the fears from the mind, then the fears are gone, the healing is complete, you don't need the remedies, and it should remain more or less permanent. The transformation is very deep. Initially, I showed a particular slide where I was showing how deep the flower essences are working right into the spirit of the person in the much subtle bodies at a very high level. So the cure is more or less permanent. Unless something major happens in life, then you might need for a short time some support, and then again you are back. But most of the lessons are more or less permanent.
Jaya R is asking, does your medicine stay for long or does it get bad after some time? How long can the medicine be kept? Does it have to be fresh always when we buy?
So Jaya, there are two ways of dispensing these remedies. One of them is water-based liquid bottles, and the second one is alcohol-based liquid bottles. We prefer water-based because we don't want to use alcohol, and the water-based remedies are freshly prepared and they have to be consumed in 3 months' time. Sometimes we also put flower remedies in sugar tablets, and these sugar tablets can last up to 1 year. If the remedy is prepared in alcohol, as brandy as a preservative, then you can keep it even up to 10 years.
Okay, Shavita Chopra is asking, is it complementary treatment or an alternative treatment?
I always call it as a complementary treatment, as I believe in integrated approach. I'm an allopathic doctor and I respect all the pathies, I respect all the doctors and all the healers. And there's something good in every pathy, and let us all work together. So it is a complementary. Someone who's doing acupuncture, Ayurveda, homeopathy, allopathy, or massage, you can use it as a complementary. Both the systems can work simultaneously.
Okay. Kiran Ki is asking, thank you very much for a great session. Which flower is more close to human cell biology?
My favorite one is lotus flower, but there is no one flower because human beings are complex microcosm of the entire macrocosm, where thousands of flowers in the macrocosm, they are also having a counterpart within us. We are the macrocosm. So there's no one flower that's going to work on our cellular biology. I would say all flowers, are important to us.
Okay, Janvi Sharma is asking, are your flower remedies for mood swing depressions or it's even to cure diseases like perimenopause or hormonal changes?
Both, because see, holistic approach means mind, emotions and body are always together. They are linked. They are not separate. Disease does not come into your body just like that. Every disease also most of the time have some emotional and mental counterpart. Your hormonal disturbance can be affected by your emotions. So perimenopausal disturbance will also have some emotional counterpart of it. So we have to treat all of it together. It works also at the mind, But because it helps the mind, it helps the body as well, because they are the two sides of the same coin. So I listen to my patient, everything from top to bottom, mind, emotions, and body. Every symptom, we have to know all of it, not just, I don't treat A disease, B disease. I don't like different doctors treating. We have to treat one person with all the symptoms, with the mind, emotions, lifestyle, the entire story.
All right. Jagdish Babu Nagchandra is asking, what are the efforts from the patient side that is required for flower remedies to work effectively in depression, migraine, and such problems?
The beauty of it is that patient has to just take it regularly. There is no counseling or psychotherapy sessions or any such thing required, because these remedies we also use in animals, pet animals, and any other animal. We have treated horses, we have treated birds, we have treated dogs and cats, and so we treat all these animals also with the various emotional and mental problem. We also have treated very small children also. So there is no other counseling or anything. Just you have to take regularly. And sometimes, as I'm going to tell it in the next webinar, that addiction patients, where the person who is addicted doesn't know that he's been given remedy, it is given in his water by the family member. So the person doesn't even know that he's been given a remedy, but the changes start happening.
Okay. Vani R is asking, in Bach flower therapy, Dr. Bach has associated flowers to personality types. Do we have anything like this with the Indian flowers that you have researched?
We haven't yet closely made a chart like this, but we do have idea about which flower is closer to which personality, but not a complete data yet.
Okay, Rajesh Kurup is asking, will flower healing remedies be considered or given more importance in the future?
Very much so, because I see that till now Western medicine was popular and is popular even now, and all the time we are searching for a pill for every ill, or a magic something will happen and we will be relieved of disease. Now people are tired. They are understanding that we need some holistic approach. We need always to prevent the diseases as the first part. Remaining well is very important, and the second part would be to actually treat with some natural remedies. So any natural remedy like this, flower remedies, will become immensely popular, and people are very disturbed mentally and emotionally. Now this is the time where there is disturbance at every level, and unless you help the mind and emotions, body will not get better.
Okay, now I have Kona Prasad Kumar on from Facebook. He's got two questions. I didn't understand the first part of his question. The second part is, what is a flower for immunity building?
The flower that is used, for immunity building will be in Indian flowers. If you want, I use lotus flower, but it's a different color, not the pink one. We use the purple color. But there are many other flowers all over the world. You can look up into it, and you can build up the immunity. There are also flowers like drumstick. I showed you the drumstick flower, reddish flower. All of these also help in immunity building.
All right. Okay, I understood his first question, which is a common flower for physiology, for psychology and physical problems.
No, there is a common flower in the sense, like lavender would be used, for sleeplessness, or chamomile will be used for hyperactive children. So like there is no one flower remedy or something like that. Someone who is using mustard for depression, someone who's going to use white chestnut for a lot of negative thoughts, or ashok flower for sadness. So there's no one popular flower or anything like that. You have to see each person and then decide.
Dr. P. Anshuman Abhishek is asking, how do you choose flower essences? How do you decide which mental or emotional issues are the most in need of assistance?
This by taking a very good case history of a patient. So one of the most important part is to listen to the patient. A physician listens to the patient very, very carefully. giving time, give an entire 1 hour to listen to the patient, and then feel the basic emotions, basic negative emotions or the thoughts that that person is going through. And often patients come, their sentences are very simple. They only tell us which remedy to use. They'll only come and say that, oh, I'm so depressed, I'm crying all this time, I feel hurt, so and so is telling me and I feel threatened. If you listen to their sentences over the years, you will know immediately, even if you just write them down and you match up with the description of the flower remedies, you will know they are already telling you the remedy. This is the way we judge our patients. We write down the essences. This is the mental and emotional. This is the flower remedy.
Okay. Shvesh Kaur asks, walking in a flower garden, if we are intensely attracted to a particular flower, could that be used as a good remedy?
Absolutely, absolutely. What a wonderful question. You are attracted to a particular colored flowers or a particular picture of the flower, or a particular flower is your favorite, then certainly that flower remedy is calling you and probably addressing some part in your mind and emotions and in your body, and you need it, worth taking it. The best part about these flower remedies that even if you'll end up taking a wrong flower remedy, it's like a wrong key doesn't fitting into the lock, nothing happens. If you take the right flower remedy, it's like a key and lock mechanism, and the lock opens and the magic happens. So if you take the wrong ones, no problem, it just goes off. If you take the right ones, the magic happens. And if you take right one for a longer time also, doesn't matter, because the healing has happened. And if body doesn't need it, you don't take it anymore.
Okay. Kona Prasad Kumar is asking, what is the flower for aroma for 24 hours to keep in home? What is flower remedy? Which is a flower remedy to remove negative illnesses?
So first one I can answer is that you want essential oils to be used. In the daytime, you use the oils which are going to make you awake, like peppermint. And in the night time, you want to wind up. So it's lavender. Now, this is the aromatherapy knowledge. It's not a flower remedy knowledge. So that's just a simple first answer. Nandita, can you repeat the second question that I just missed it?
Yes. Which is the flower remedy to remove negative illnesses?
Negative illnesses, I do not understand
Yeah, even I
exactly.
wasn't clear.
But illnesses are all negative, right? When you're not healthy, you're not well. If you have an illness, it's really negative. It's going to do some destruction in your body. It's going to limit your lifestyle. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
There is no one particular flower. There are many different flowers. But if you are looking for cleansing your aura, then there are white color flowers. White lotus is extremely good.
Okay, Ketki Shah from the what do you call it, watch party on Facebook is asking, I have IBS and also low hormones. Can flower therapy help me?
Certainly, in irritable bowel syndrome, do look up on internet. I have written an article about irritable bowel syndrome and flower remedies. Do read it up. It's there also on my website. Irritable mind and emotions is causing irritable bowel syndrome. It's a psychosomatic disease. So we have to help the mind and emotions to calm down the system. The bowel movements will become normal. You are not born with it. It happened later, maybe due to stresses of life, maybe because of adjustments, maybe because of what experience you went through. So it's better with the flower remedies, definitely. What was the second part of that question?
No, that's it.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, perfect. Flower remedies are really, really good for all the psychosomatic illnesses. Definitely. Irritable bowel syndrome very gently heals, and it heals completely.
Okay. Dr. P. Anshuman Abhishek is asking, is it possible that by hugging trees or touching trees or flowers every day, we can feel its energy? Is it one of the ways of healing oneself?
Absolutely, it is one of the way. Sometimes I joke, when my patients look very tired and very burdened with a lot of troubles of life, I said, which is the tree near entrance of your home? Just go and put all your troubles there, like a little bag. Then enter your home, sleep, and next morning go and pick up that very bag again and start, and maybe you have a better solution. Yes, we are into coexistence. Even the trees are alive. They communicate with each other. They understand our pain, they understand our sorrows, and they are our friends. Do hug a tree and find your support.
Okay, we have the last question from Ruchi Sabrawal. What all flower remedies can be used for swollen legs and constipation?
So constipation, what I call it as retentive personality. The person who is insecure will have constipation. It's a very sluggish system. Now I'm going to do a session on digestive disorders, I think after third or fourth. So please look out for it. I will answer this in detail, which particular flowers we use, how to improve your digestive system, and how to improve your constipation also.
Okay, last question, one more question. Kona Prasad Kumar is asking which flower is for chronic lifestyle conditions like diabetes, cancer, hypertension?
So, diabetes, I usually inspire people to also change their diet and lifestyle. It's a type 2 diabetes. And sure, they also have a lot of stresses and negative emotions, or a simple way we say for diabetes, sweetness has gone out of life. So there are flower remedies that should be used simultaneously to strengthen them emotionally and mentally so that the healing happens. No one particular flower, we have to talk to each patient and understand their condition. And chemotherapy, cancer patients, yes, we have extremely good supportive remedies and formula, and it helps them to go through the chemotherapy, surgery, radiations with very minimum or no side effects, and gives them mental and emotional strength to glide out of it. Right?
Okay.
Are we
Yeah,
done?
we're done.